Hey everybody. Um, Hi, I'm here. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a couple different things. First of all, I'm going to be taking my the Uncle Ben's pre-made rice bag that I inoculated back on the 19th of last month, and as you can see, it's pretty well inoculated. Just one little spot there that isn't completely, and I could have waited another day, but I know that that's the only spot I can see looking here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but looking through the bag, it looks really good. I don't see any contamination, I don't see any discoloration, um, but it took forever. This was a multi-spore syringe, and went from there. So I'm going to be doing some. So there will be a rice transfer to some corn that's been uh, just soaked with a little coffee and gypsum. Um, it is a little, someone might say that it is a little damp still, but I also say that's because the corn is not all completely hydrated. I think it'll suck some of that back up. Um, and I've got some wild bird seed and gypsum for the additional nutrition. I've got one petri jar that is, you see, it's kind of like a dark, it's a carbon agar mix. And then this last one is another popcorn, but it's got spent coffee grounds, and it's got ground up pieces of eggshell instead of oyster shell, because a lot of times, if you've ever raised chickens, um, oyster shells are good for their shell development, and so I assume that their shells would probably be good for the mycelium growth. So yeah, I was hoping to do this with no stops or edits or anything like that. So I'm gonna keep on trying to go. I've got my rubbing alcohol here, so go ahead, and I've already washed my hands really good. And I'm not using a still air box or laminar flow hood yet. What I do have is an old dresser that with a TV section, and I just put one of those dollar store poster boards, the foam poster board, in the back, so that it gives me all a 22-inch deep surface to work with. And this room is fairly sterile, all in all. Really, nobody else in the house comes out here. I kind of shoo everybody away, and yeah. So it's pretty clean out here most of the time, almost up to my cleanliness standards. So yeah. Got my torch here for sterilization. I've already sterilized my. I know what I do need though. I know I will need some paper towels for something. Oh. I like to fold them and give them a small spray with some rubbing alcohol for no other reason than just to limit the surface that it has for anything to land on it. and give me multiple cleaning surfaces when I use it to wipe stuff down. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give my uncle a little cut here and see what we look like inside. Well, all I can smell is rubbing alcohol. All I could smell. But I don't know if you can see in there or not, but it looks good. Can you see? Nope. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna give it the full open now. We're pretty colonized in there, so I'm not super concerned about the contamination factor. I mean, I am. Oh, that's really beautiful. I mean, that is. I'm definitely a novice, but can you see in there? That's. Hold on. Okay, I didn't want to have to touch my camera, but I mean, we're going to because I want to show that off. So here, hold on a second. Look at that in there. I wish I could give a link to the person that I got the spores from on this, but I am gonna ask the person who 90-second mycology. Thank you so much for showing this Uncle Ben's tech. It really does work well. I'm now 2 for 2. As you see, this one was the 19th is when I inoculated this, and it's now the 18th, so it's been 1 day less than a month, and I mean, I'm really happy going from a multi-spore syringe to that, and now I'm going to take out some of those grains and I'm going to put them into these jars, and then I'm going to take the last little bit of remainder and I'm going to make a small little substrate to flush, or to fruit, I mean. Yeah, sorry, I'm still kind of new. So yeah, basically just getting everything prepped and ready to go, and here I go, about to start transferring the first couple over. Basically just cutting. Okay, so I need to double check here, because when I moved it and I took the first piece, everything looked good, and now looking at it, there's it's either green or blue. It's probably just bluing. And if that's the case, I'm going to do a Q-tip test to see what I have here. And but I believe that that's what it is, because the only place that it did that is right where I first stuck my knife in the first time, when it was still a little warm, even after going and touching the agar. Everywhere that I cut after the fact has not been. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shake this one up and see what we get. But I know they always say don't use your palm and all that, but I've never had a problem so far with a jar breaking on me. I'm sure it will happen. Everything happens at some point to everybody like that. You know, given enough of a timeline, everything happens. So, but okay. I can see where one piece is, two pieces are. So we'll call that one good. And I'm going to bring you back to, I guess, some fast forward. I'm going to try to fit this in here. I have a 2x4 tough tote that has a aquarium heater in it. It's filled with water, and I use it to regulate the temperature of the grain spawn, but it keeps the humidity at almost 100% in my 2x4 tent, and so I think I need to be a little quicker and not wait a full 10 days with a lot of the inoculate. Okay, so isn't that exactly the way it goes? That so my very last piece I drop. So I'm going to make sure that after I shake that one that I mark that that was the one that potentially is contaminated right off the bat, and we will go from there. I hope it doesn't contaminate, because this is that's okay. Things happen the way they happen because that's the way they're supposed to happen. So I'll be back in a moment with the rest of this. Okay, so I'm back with this part, and so I got my shoebox. I have my free air exchange, my fay holes. I got some paper towels for cleaning. I've got my liner. My tub, my little shoebox is painted black, but that does not necessarily help or not help, especially if you have a good liner. I have my bucket. I got the last of my Cocoa Core vermiculite mix, so I'm going to go ahead and get my shoebox ready here. The first thing I'm going to do is move my plastic bag and get some spray down, and I give the inside of my box a little wipe down here, because you want it to be as clean as possible, you know. If you've got good genetics, which somehow I think I lucked into, you know, it's not going to be as, but I mean, routine is, what am I trying to say? Routine is the best. You don't want to hear me. How about I just go to that fast forward thing? Okay, so I figured since I didn't break or shake this one, I just did the full solid. I figured I'm going to try and squeeze this one out so I can kind of look at it. It definitely, it smells so good. I can't even believe the fact that I'm saying it smells good, because I'm not really a mushroom liking person usually, but I love that smell. So apparently I just didn't realize how much of a mushroom person I was, because, oh, there we go. Oh, so nice. Okay, look at that. I'm gonna hold this just in case it drops. But, oh, it smells so good. It looks so good. It's like hard as a rock. Wow, I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna have to make sure I can stop and get some pictures from these. So I'm going to start breaking it up here. Oh, look at that. Even in the middle, look at that. That's just, I'm a happy camper. And I need to take this mask off now. I can't. I just won't breathe that way. Wow, so the consistency is like if you've ever tried to take like corn off the cob, it's kind of got that same feeling. It's like kind of starchy because of the rice, and it kind of wants to stick together. And the rice has like a kernel feel to it when you break it apart. But it definitely, if you had some major sensory issues like I do, I just tell myself that as soon as I'm done doing this, I can go wash my hands. It's the inability to be able to wash my hands that makes any problems for me, at least. That's off topic of mushrooms here. This is awesome. I absolutely love this, though. I cannot believe that a month ago this was nothing. And I remember the night that I inoculated them, thinking like, freaking like a month away before I get to even like see these things. Like I was really kind of disappointed, like, you know, like everything, we want immediate gratification, and mushrooms do not give you immediate gratification. I mean, it seems like at the end, because it's like wait, and at the end you're like screaming like, wait, mushrooms, wait, I'm not ready yet. And so yeah, this might have been a little bit too much substrate for what I had left, but if that turns out to be the case, I mean, it is what it is. Maybe it'll just take a little longer to inoculate. Maybe I'll just mix it up really good, who knows. It'll be what it is, right? At this point, I needed to make more substrate anyway, so I needed to use this all up, but I didn't have anything else that was ready. I didn't have enough. This wasn't going to be enough for two, and I didn't want to wait until tomorrow to do this one. The other mushrooms, the king oysters, and the other pink oysters that I have going, those ones all needed another day anyway. They would be okay. I didn't want to wait another day for this one. I already have other oyster and king going. I want to hurry up and get this one and the lion's mane as well going. So I'm just going to mix the heck out of this. Okay. Very carefully going to bring my little buddy over here. And take a nice bit here. Sorry if this is boring, but I mean, you know, if you clicked on this, you probably wanted to see this stuff, so I guess it's probably not boring. I know whenever I'm watching other people that I like, and they're like, I'm gonna go to fast forward because you don't want to hear me talk, and I'm like, no, dude, stop saying that. Slow down and either do some voiceover or keep talking, because, you know, the whole reason that I follow the person is because it's not just because of what their camera shows. A lot of times it's because of the person as well. They've got something that's about them that makes you want to watch them a little bit, because it's not like the YouTube isn't like overly saturated with content of every possible kind. So it's not like there's not a billion of us out there too. So if you're here watching me, basically what I'm saying is if you're here watching me, hey yo, thanks. I appreciate that. So yeah. Let's put you up onto here and start giving it a nice... I knew that was going to happen. I'm so dumb about the way I do things sometimes. And I'm sure people are probably screaming about my less than sterile techniques. But, I mean, so far has been so good, so I'm just going to keep doing what I do until the mushrooms are like, hey dude, you're messing up, so please stop and do it this way instead, and then I'll do it that way. But right now, the mushrooms so far have been very cooperative. They've been happy with me. They think I'm doing a good job. I think I'm failing them most of the time. But they definitely have been the opposite. They have been very cooperative, they've been very loving, and if you grow mushrooms, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's much love here, you know, it's just, seriously, it's freaking awesome. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this just temporarily, so that I can wash my hands and get everything cleaned up and cut and ready. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Seriously, I walked out of the room and I came back in, and it smells like, so I used to work in a produce department, and when we used to get a full pallet of fresh mushrooms in, all the buttons, I mean, they're all the same, button and crimini and portobello, but that smell, like, just like pow, 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 powerful, unbelievably powerful. Okay, so I'm just wiping down the places where I touched and got some substrate on the container. And I think now I'm going to try and cut my liner a little bit. That is just terrible. There's some really cruddy edges there, but you know, the last time I checked, the mushrooms don't care about interior design. They're much more happy with living space as opposed to decor. And I can be down with that. So I'm like, hey. Again, mushrooms, if I do it and you don't like it, just tell me. I'll change it. If I'm doing something wrong, homies, just tell me. I'll make adjustments. I'm not unreasonable on the Sagittarius. Okay, so I'm not totally unreasonable. I wonder if anyone's mad about how long I've had the lid off, or the fact that I'm not wearing gloves or anything like that, but we've already talked about that. So yeah, and I don't think this time, I don't think I'm gonna mist at all. Last time I misted, and I think that was a giant mistake. Yeah, I think that everything that I misted became very, very, very oversaturated very quickly. Way too much humidity because I have, you know what, I'll save this for the voiceover.